What is a Selenium? So this is one of the interview question, and as well as it is the introduction to Selenium. So what is a Selenium means? Selenium is a free open source functional testing tool. Okay, what is the Selenium? Selenium is a free open source and it is a functional testing tool. Majorly we are used for testing web application on multiple browsers and multiple operating systems. So multiple browsers means Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, like that, and multiple operating system means Windows, Linux, Mac. That's it. Okay, and it is used to functional and regression testing. So repeating test case purpose we are using this Selenium, and testing done by the Selenium tool is usually referred as a Selenium testing. If we are doing the testing using the Selenium tool, the testing is known as Selenium testing. Okay. So first point is it is a open source. Second point is we can test web application. Third point is we are using this tool for regression testing. Fourth point is if testing done by Selenium tool is known as Selenium testing. ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ డెఫినేషన్ ఏం చెప్తా ఉందంటే మీరు టెస్టింగ్ కానీ సో మెయిన్గా సెలీనియం అనేది ఒక ఓపెన్ సోర్స్ అంటే ఫ్రీగా అవైలబుల్ అయ్యే ఓపెన్ సోర్స్ అని చెప్తా ఉంది. సెకండ్ వచ్చి సెలీనియం టూల్ యూజ్ చేసి వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ని టెస్ట్ చేయగలమని చెప్తా ఉంది. అండ్ థర్డ్ థింగ్ వచ్చి రిగ్రెషన్ టెస్టింగ్కి సెలీనియం బాగా యూజ్ అవుతుందని చెప్తుంది. ఫోర్త్ వన్ వచ్చి సెలీనియం టూల్ యూజ్ చేసి టెస్టింగ్ కానీ చేస్తే ఆ టెస్టింగ్ని మనం ఏమంటామంటే సెలీనియం టెస్టింగ్ అని అంటాం. ఓకే. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద డెఫినేషన్ ఆఫ్ సెలీనియం. కమింగ్ టు ద సెకండ్ పాయింట్, history of Selenium. So history is nothing but what is the back end story of Selenium. So why we are started using the Selenium and what are the concepts available in a Selenium. Currently we are using Selenium 4 version, Selenium 4 plus version. Web is using for comprising of Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid. So it was saying that present situation we are using Selenium 4 version. It is not a single version. It was combining of IDE, WebDriver and Grid. And the second point is, so before 4 version we have a Selenium 3. Selenium 3 Web is a suite of tools. Selenium was actually created by Jason Huggins in 2004 and as a internal tool of work throughout work. So mainly who was started, who was creator of the Selenium? Jason Huggins. He was created in 2004 and later on, so after Huggins was created a first version of Selenium. Later, after that some days, Paul Hammond joined the team at TrueWorks and started the second mode of development, Selenium RC. So first version is, so here we need to say Selenium IDE is the first version. It was created by Jason Huggins in 2004 and second person is Paul Hemant is the second person. He was started that RC and after some days Selenium Selenium was updating after later in 2008. In 2004 they are like in 2006 Paul Hemant was added. And in 2008, Philip Angiriou was developed that Selenium Grid, which provides a hub allowing the running multiple Selenium tests parallelly, reducing the execution of test scripts. So already in advantages we learned about that Selenium Grid. Actually, this Philip Angiriou was started that remote execution. So where you can live, you can automate the application. Okay, so 3 members was designed this particular Selenium. Okay, so we need to remember that in 2004 the first version of Selenium was launched by the market was Selenium 1.0. It is a nothing but a Selenium IDE. So where in which year Selenium first version was released? It was released by 2004. It was released by Jason Huggins. First we are released that Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is the tool first they are released. Okay. So you can like remember the names. Just you can remember the names. These three sign like these three developers names. So this IDE and grid and WebDriver we can see in a components. Okay. So presently we are in which version? Hello guys.
Selenium 4,
4.8.
sir.
Selenium 4. 4.
Selenium 4.
Presently we are. So we
Selenium
can say
4
it is
version.
yes. And it is not a single tool. It was combination of IDE, WebDriver, and Grid. Okay. So this is the history of Selenium. So history of Selenium is so first they are started with one, and after they are going with the two, and they are started a three, and present we are in a fourth version of Selenium. Okay. So this is about history of Selenium. Now, so we need to like history is a theoretical part. We need to learn as a story type. So in this like some of the year some developer was developed first version, so some of the year developer was developed the second version. We need to know the name. So this is a just theoretical part. Coming to that, Selenium components. So Selenium components, or we can say Selenium suite. So we can say Selenium types also. Okay. So we are listen Selenium IDE and Selenium grid and WebDriver in a history concept. So the concept name is second concept name is Selenium components. Okay. So these all are coming under theory only. So what are the Selenium components available? So we can say Selenium is not just a single tool, but it is a combination of different suite of software. So we need to remember that Selenium is not just a single tool. It is a combination of suite of software. So what is that suite of software? Suite is nothing but it was combining some modules. Okay, list of like a combination of some different modules is known as suite. So components is nothing but a types. Now Selenium has four different types of components. So this is the interview question. What is Selenium components or what is Selenium suite? So we need to say Selenium is not just a single tool. It contains four components or list of four suites. Now the names is one is Selenium IDE, one is Selenium RC, and one is Selenium WebDriver. So these all are coming under theory only. So coming to that,
Sir, voice రావట్లేదు సార్. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello.
guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
So currently, okay. Currently, we are using Selenium WebDriver. But why we are know this ID and RC means because of some awareness purpose. Okay. So finally, after the WebDriver only, we are switching to the grid. Okay. Now we can see. So here is the suite: Selenium suite, IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Selenium grid. Okay. Selenium grid is the fourth version of Selenium. Okay. Now, so we are going to the just theoretical part in IDE and RC. So our main hero is Selenium WebDriver is our hero. Okay. Now coming to the Selenium IDE. So what is this Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is Selenium Integrated Development Environment. It is the simplest framework in Selenium suite. So which one is simplest framework means Selenium IDE. It is a supplement simplest, but we are not using. Why? Because it has some disadvantages. So we can see. The first point is it is a simplest framework. And it is a second thing is it is a browser plugin to record and playback operation performed on browser. So it is not a script-wise tool. It is not a script-wise tool. It is just a record and playback type tool. So we can record our testing, and when we are need to play back, then we can play. So that's why it is not preferring that much. And second thing is mainly Selenium IDE was first preference is Firefox. Why? Because it is a one of the Firefox plugin we can see. You can see Selenium IDE plugins are available for only Chrome and Firefox. And so one disadvantage is it is a record and playback option, and second disadvantage is it is not supporting to the multiple browsers. It can support only for Chrome and Firefox browsers. Selenium IDE was supports only Chrome and Firefox browser, and now it does not support the programming features. So we can say does not support the programming features means it does not support any programming languages. Okay, so there is a separate language contains for Selenium IDE. The language name is Selenium. So and it is the large language which is used to write test scripts in Selenium IDE, and the Selenium is also working for only Selenium IDE. Okay, what are the drawbacks? Record and playback option, working only Firefox browser, no programming language, and it was support only single language only. That is nothing but a Selenium. Okay, that's why we are not preferring this IDE, but it is also contains some advantages. So we can see what is the advantages of Selenium IDE. So advantage number one, very easy to use, and it is not a very easy to use and easy to install. So installation is easy and using is easy, and no programming experience is required. So don't require the programming skills, and easy we can run in a Firefox and Chrome, and user easy record and play the scripts, and edit also easy. So okay, there is some benefits, but these benefits are
సార్ వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు సార్.
ఇప్పుడు ఓకేనా? హలో.
ఓకే సార్.
Yes. So drawbacks of Selenium IDE. First drawback is it does not support the iteration statements, and no support of condition statements, and it does not support error handling, it does not support database testing, and only available in Firefox and Chrome, and it not generates detailed tester report summary. So there is a lot of drawbacks, but we need to know IDE is the record and playback option. Mainly it was support from the Chrome and Firefox browser. So why? Because we need to know this IDE means, so IDE will mostly asking in the interviews perspective. Okay, so in interviews mostly they are asking, so what is IDE and what is the drawbacks, why we are not using Selenium IDE. So we need to say this is the main answer. Okay, so we need to explain what is IDE, and we need to explain what are the drawbacks in IDE. సో ఈ ఐడి ఏం చెప్తా ఉందంటే, సో మెయిన్ గా మనం ఐడి అనేది ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ వాడడం లేదు. ఎందుకంటే దీంట్లో ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ సపోర్ట్ లేదు. ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ సపోర్ట్ లేకపోతే మనకే బెటర్ కదా అంటే, సో బెటర్ కదా అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చూడండి, కండిషన్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ కూడా లేవంట, అంటే ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్. అవి ఉన్నప్పుడే మనం టెస్ట్ కేస్ పాస్ ఆ ఫెయిల్ అని కనుక్కోగలం. ఐడి ఎలాగంటే జస్ట్ టెస్టింగ్ చేయగలం, రిపోర్ట్స్ అంత ఉండవు. ఓకే, దానికోసమని ఐడి వాడరు. బట్ మనం ఎందుకు తెలుసుకుంటా ఉన్నామంటే ఐడికి అప్డేట్ వర్షనే నెక్స్ట్ వచ్చే వర్షన్స్, కాబట్టి దీని గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలన్నమాట. ఓకే, సో ఐడి అంటే ఏంటి, మీరు ఇది ఇంటర్వ్యూ కోసం మటుకు ఖచ్చితంగా ఇది నేర్చుకోగలగాలి. ఓకే, హలో గైస్, అండర్స్టాండ్? హలో. సో ఇది కొంచెం థియరీ పార్టీ ఉంటుంది ఏంటంటే నౌ. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ Selenium IDE. Now coming to that further topic is, so what is Selenium RC? The second component of Selenium suite is Selenium RC. So Selenium RC defines that RC is a remote control. Okay, Selenium RC is a testing tool used for web application testing. Okay, first thing is it is a web application testing tool, and it supports programming using RC. It supports programming languages, and using RC we can test out application in multiple browsers and also in multiple operating systems. So you can see, just simply we can say RC is the update version of IDE. IDE does not support multiple programming languages. RC is support. IDE does not support multiple browsers. RC was support. IDE does not support multiple operating systems. RC was support. And RC has complex architecture, hence slow in automation test execution. This point is enough. Mainly there is a disadvantage, you can see. So it is the advantages. RC only started the programming language. But what is the disadvantage? Selenium RC has complex architecture, automation, execution. And okay, what is that? Architecture wise, there is a drawback. So you can see the architecture. So so you can see architecture is, this is the Selenium RC architecture. So we need to write program here. Before approaching to the web server, it need to approach the Selenium RC server, and then only, so like after that only it should be interact the core injected, and then only it can interact with the web server. So main architecture is we require Selenium and web server. Before interacting with the browser and web server, it should be interact with the server. So this is the architectural drawback. Okay. So what is that main drawback? Say Selenium RC directly it can't interact with the web server. It should be interact with the server first. Okay. So the main drawback of RC is architectural drawback. Which drawback it is? Architectural drawback. ఓకే. సో సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలంటే మనకు సెలీనియం ఐడిలో ఉన్న డ్రాబ్యాక్స్ చెప్పండి ఒకసారి.
Sir,
సెలీనియం
in
ఐడిలో ఉన్న
IDE
డ్రాబ్యాక్స్.
does not support the programming languages, sir, and
ఓకే.
different multiple browsers cannot be used. And
ఓకే.
mm,
Does not support conditional statements.
yes, sir, condition,
ఓకే.
sir.
ఓకే.
We
మెయిన్
cannot
ఏంటంటే
test a
ప్రోగ్రామింగ్
script.
లాంగ్వేజ్ లేదు. ఎస్, ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లేదు. అండ్ ఇంకొకటి
Does
మల్టిపుల్
not
బ్రౌజర్.
support
Operating
any
multiple
operating
browsers.
systems. Multiple
బట్
operating.
ఆర్సీ ఏంటంటే, ఏం చేసింది, ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ సపోర్ట్ ఉంది, ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ సపోర్ట్ ఉంది, బ్రౌజర్ సపోర్ట్ ఉంది. బట్ ఇవి స్టార్ట్ చేసిందని ఇదే మనం హీరో అనడానికి లేదు. ఎందుకంటే దీంట్లో ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అనేది సరిగా లేదు. ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ అంటే ఏంటి? బ్లూ ప్రింట్. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళాలనుకుందాం. వెళ్ళాలనుకునేటప్పుడు వెళ్ళాలనుకున్న ప్లేస్ కరెక్టే, మనం తీసుకున్న అప్రోచ్ కరెక్టే. దాని ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఎలా ఉందంటే దారుల మధ్యలో ఏ గుంతలు ఉండడం ఇలా జరిగిందనమాట. ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ ఎలా ఉందంటే ఒక బ్రౌజర్ని ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి ఫస్ట్ ఇది దేన్ని ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతా ఉంది? సర్వర్ని ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. అప్పుడు మళ్ళీ బ్రౌజర్ని ఇంటరాక్ట్ అయ్యి దాని తర్వాత వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ మీద ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. సో ఇంత దూరం వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు మనకు అన్నోన్ ఎర్రర్స్ వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది. ఒకవేళ సర్వర్లో చిన్న డ్యామేజ్ వచ్చినా మనకు ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అనేవి రన్ అవ్వవు. సో ప్రజెంట్ ఆర్సీని ఏం చేసినారంటే రెప్లికేట్ చేసినారు. రెప్లికేట్ అంటే ఏంటి?
Sir, అంటే not used. అంటే తీసేయడం సార్, అంటే కెనాట్ బి యూజ్డ్ అన్న సార్.
ఆర్సీ అనేది అసలు యూజ్ చేయడం లేదు, అసలు లేదు కూడా, ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకోవడానికి కూడా లేదు. అందుకనే సెలీనియం 4 వర్షన్ మీరు డౌన్లోడ్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఏమేమి కనపడతాయి? ఐడి అని,
సరే,
వెబ్
ఐడి 4.8.
సో ఆర్సీని ఏం చేసినారంటే రెప్లికేట్ చేసేసినారు అనమాట. ఓకే. నౌ సో IDE contains a lot of architectural drawbacks. Now, what is a Selenium WebDriver? So, what is Selenium WebDriver? Selenium WebDriver is one of the components in Selenium. It is a third component. So, definition saying that Selenium WebDriver is a web application testing tool and introduced by eliminating the drawbacks of IDE and RC. And it is a simple in architecture and also easy to understand and use. So the main thing is it was update version of RC. So you can observe the architecture. Selenium RC, first it was interact with the server, then only it was interact with the browser, then only it was interact with the web application. But WebDriver, we can write the code here directly it can approach the browser and directly it can approach the web server. Okay, this is the thing. So what is the thing? First, Selenium RC interact with the browser and it should be interact with the web server. Okay, so you can see very simple to use. But RC was architectural drawback, but Selenium was overcome that drawback of the IDE and RC. That drawbacks of IDE, it was saying that Selenium WebDriver also supports multiple programming language, multiple operating system, and multiple browsers. Okay. Now, so we can say what is that advantages? It is a well-designed, object-oriented API developed automate web and mobile software application testing process, and it is the faster than RC. And Selenium WebDriver directly talks to the browser, don't require any server, and it is a API more concise the Selenium RC. So like it was saying that it was better than the RC, and you can see this point 8 point. It needs outside support for report generating activity like dependencies on TestNG or Jenkins. So WebDriver he was supporting extra frameworks also. WebDriver support. సో సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలంటే ఏంటంటే వెబ్ డ్రైవర్ అనేది ఆర్సీలో ఏవైతే డ్రాబ్యాక్స్ మనం చూసినామో ఆ డ్రాబ్యాక్స్ అన్ని వెబ్ డ్రైవర్ అనేది ఏం చేసింది, ఓవర్కమ్ చేసింది. కరెక్టేనా?
Yes, sir. It overcomes, sir, all
Sir.
C and the.
ఓకే,
Now we use
సరే.
only the web drivers only, no, sir. ID and web drivers.
ఐడి ఉంది కానీ వాడడం లేదు, వెబ్ డ్రైవర్ ఎక్కువగా వాడుతా ఉన్నాం. అండ్ ఈ వెబ్ డ్రైవర్లో కూడా చాలా బెనిఫిట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఇంతకు ముందుకు ఇంకా ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ 4.8లో ఇంకా మంచి మంచి ఎడిషన్స్ కూడా స్టార్ట్ అయినాయి మనకి. ఓకే, అండ్ ఓకే, దట్స్ ఫైన్. So coming to that fourth component, Selenium grid, and the fourth component is Selenium grid. What is Selenium grid? Selenium grid is used to run automation tests on multiple browsers across multiple operating systems. Okay, what is that meaning? Selenium grid is a run for multiple browsers or multiple operating systems mission simultaneously, and it supports the parallel testing. It is used only for test execution. We can't write any programs in grid. We can't using just for execution purpose only. The main feature of Selenium grid is parallel testing. What is meant by parallel testing?
Parallelly test in the
Firefox.
all browsers. We can parallelly test in all the browsers.
Yes, parallelly we can test at a time. Same time we can test in a Chrome browser and Firefox browser. And
Firefox browser.
parallelly we can test in a Windows operating system and Mac operating system. So simultaneously we can do two works. The main advantage is it is only using for execution purpose and it contains a time reducing process. Okay, so you can see what is the main features. So one is it can run various environments and it saves time. And it is a very speed and parallel execution. Perform cross browsing testing also easily. Okay, so this is the main advantages of Selenium grid. Okay, సో సెలీనియం గ్రిడ్ యూజ్ చేయడం వల్ల మనకి ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే ఒకటేసారి మామూలుగా అయితే మనం క్రోమ్లో టెస్ట్ చేయాలి, ఫైర్ఫాక్స్లో టెస్ట్ చేయాలి. కానీ సెలీనియం గ్రిడ్ యూజ్ చేయడం వల్ల మనకి ఏమవుతుందంటే మనం ఫైర్ఫాక్స్లో రన్ చేయొచ్చు అండ్ ఇంకొకటి
క్రోమ్ బ్రౌజర్లో కూడా
క్రోమ్లో కూడా ఒకటేసారి సైమల్టేనియస్గా రన్ చేయొచ్చు. ఓకేనా? సో ఇది గ్రిడ్ అంటే. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ చిన్న టాపిక్ ఒకటి వినండి, సెట్ అవుతుంది. సో and the further topic is platform supported by Selenium and advantages and disadvantages of Selenium. So what is this platform means? Selenium works with different operating system, browsers, programming languages and frameworks. Coming to the first point, Selenium supports which type of operating systems? One is Windows, Mac, Linux. Windows is generally we are using the Windows, Mac is Apple laptops, and Linux is a Unix operating system. Second thing is browsers. Which browsers it can access means Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera. So these are the multiple browsers. And which type of programming language it supports? Java, C Sharp, .NET, Perl, Python, Ruby, PHP, JavaScript, XYZ. And which type of frameworks it supports? It can support NUnit, JUnit, TestNG, PyUnit. For Python, we are using PyUnit and Behat and Mink also. Okay. So these are the platforms supported by Selenium. So these following requirements, which type of platform you available in your hand, you can run the Selenium programs. Now coming to the advantages of Selenium. So Selenium advantages is first thing, it is a open source. Second thing, it has a multiple programming language support. Third thing, it supports multiple operating systems. And fourth one, it supports multiple browsers. And fifth one, it supports parallel testing. And disadvantages, we can say, it supports only web-based application and does not support Windows-based application. Web-based means which applications was HTTPS colon www.com. This type of applications only it can support. It does not support Windows-based means Notepad or else like which like your files like general files. This type of application you cannot automate. And Selenium taking some difficulty to test the images, and it does not support the like inbuilt report facility, and sometimes it is difficult to use, and like newly added features may not work properly, and so there is some drawbacks in Selenium also. So here is the advantages of Selenium over QTP. Already we are known. సో ఇన్ టూల్ సెలెక్షన్ ఓకే. సో ఇవి మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు సెలీనియం నేర్చుకోవడం స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే ఎక్కడెక్కడ నేర్చుకోవచ్చు, ఏ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టంలో, ఏ బ్రౌజర్లో, ఏ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్, ఏ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ అనేది, అండ్ అడ్వాంటేజెస్ డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ కూడా తెలుస్తుంది.